Hi guys, it's Michelle. Welcome back to my cooking channel. Today is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to everyone out there. Today we're making lasagna. One of my dad's favorite meals is lasagna, so we're gonna make some with a meat sauce and ricotta and a whole bunch of different cheeses mixed in there. So come to my kitchen so we can cook. Ingredients for the sauce are ground turkey, mild turkey Italian sausage. I have garlic, bay leaves, oregano, cumin, Italian seasoning. I have salt. If you want to add pepper, you can add pepper, onions, and a whole bunch. I just used half of this right now, so I'm going to use the rest of it. A whole bunch of tomato puree, some diced tomatoes, some tomato sauce. So let's get started. To our hot pan, we're going to add some oil. You can tell it's hot when the oil just looks like that. When you put it in, it kind of thins out. And to that, we're gonna add our tomatoes. I chopped up onions. I'm all right, guys. Everything's fine. Let's see. Some onions. We're gonna add some onions. And I'm gonna lower the heat a little bit because I want these onions to cook and not caramelize too much. We just want them to cook and get nice and soft. We're gonna add a good amount of garlic. We're gonna cook this down for a minute. To our onions and garlic, I'm going to add our sausage minus the paper. You don't want to eat that. And I will add our ground turkey. If I can get it out of here. So I'm gonna start cooking that down, and let's see, we'll add some salt, we'll add all the spices. As we're cooking down our turkey and our turkey sausage, I'm going to add the Italian seasoning, cumin, bay leaves, oregano, and salt. So let's get that mixed up, and we're gonna cook it down before we add our tomatoes. So that our turkey is nice and cooked, I will add the sauces. This is tomato puree. I'm pretty sure I had crushed tomatoes somewhere in there, but I cannot find them, and that's okay. You can use tomato puree. Half a can, this is the 28-ounce can, half a can of the diced tomatoes since I used the other half earlier. Some tomato sauce, and I'm gonna add one last can of tomato puree. Remember guys, I'm making a lot of sauce because we're gonna make spaghetti tonight and we're gonna make lasagna for this weekend. So we want to stir that around and get it cooking down. Once it starts bubbling, you wanna put it to simmer because this is a lengthier process since you're using canned tomatoes, not just tomato sauce that's already made. So you want this to cook for a while so it can get the flavor of your turkey, of all the seasonings that we used, and so that tomato can cook. So we'll be back. So now it's been around, I would say 30 minutes, and we're going to move it around. I had it covered. I went to go pick up the girls from school. Don't leave your kitchen unattended, guys. I had someone here the whole time. And let's taste. It's doing good. We're gonna need some sugar. So put 2 pinches of sugar. And I'm gonna actually add a little bit of garlic powder to this because it's not garlicky enough. And here come the girls. So I'm gonna let this keep cooking down and we'll be back. I'm going to add a little bit of chicken stock just for the flavoring. I would put a little bouillon cube, but I've added enough salt, I think. And I'm just adjusting now the seasonings from the last taste. I added a little more salt, a little more cumin, a little bit more Italian seasoning, and you just keep tasting it as you go. I added some chicken stock to rinse out the sauces from the cans before, but I did not show that, so I wanted to show adding a little bit of chicken stock too. Our sauce is pretty much done. So I took some I made some pasta. I took some and put it on the pasta. So here are the bowls for the girls. And we're gonna save this for when we make the lasagna. We're making lasagna for Father's Day, guys. So we'll be back. Our sauce is ready to go. I'm gonna need olive oil, garlic, onions. I have ricotta. I have this Boursin cheese I need to use before it expires, so we'll add that. I have the oven ready lasagna noodles. You don't need to boil these, which makes it very convenient. I have mozzarella cheese and spinach. So I'm gonna start off by chopping some onions so I can cook it down with the spinach. So to the hot pan, we're gonna add some olive oil and our chopped onions. We're gonna cook these down for a couple minutes and then add some garlic, and I'll add the spinach. Now that our onions are done, I'll add garlic and add around 3 cloves of garlic. That's the equivalent in taste. And I'm gonna cook this down for a minute. Now that the garlic has cooked for a minute, I'm going to add 4 packed cups of spinach into the pot, or the pan, I should say. Spinach overboard. We're gonna cook this down until it wilts. It seems like a lot, but it's gonna wilt down and you might wonder if you even have enough. So we'll let this heat wilt our spinach down, let it cook down a bit, and then we'll start the assembly. So here's our wilted down spinach. See how all that spinach looks like it probably won't even be enough for the lasagna. This is just to add a bit of flavor. It's not our main ingredient. I added an egg, guys, to the ricotta and the cheese mixture. I'm gonna mix it up first, since that's what I'm doing. I'm going to wait until the spinach cools down, and I'm gonna add the spinach to this. You don't wanna scramble your egg before you start assembling. So just wait for that to cool and add it to the ricotta and cheese mixture. I'm gonna put half a cup of Parmesan cheese into this mixture as well. It adds a little bit of saltiness and nuttiness, and who doesn't want Parmesan cheese in their lasagna. I'll add also half a teaspoon of salt to the ricotta mixture, and I think I'm gonna add that right now to the spinach actually, and then I'll just add it on top of the ricotta. So we'll do that right now. Half a teaspoon of salt in there, and we'll mix it up. Okay, I'll take this off the heat, even though I turned off the heat. I'll take this off the heat and wait for it to cool down before I put it here in our mix. So to this, I'll add half a cup of Parmesan cheese. I added a tablespoon of chopped parsley, and I will add half a cup of mozzarella. We're still waiting for our spinach mixture to cool down before we can add it. So let's get all this mixed up, and we're waiting for that spinach to cool down in order for us to start the assembly. If you're not a patient person like me, you can somewhat temper this down, kind of like they do for custards. So we'll put some of the cold cheese mixture and mix it up with the spinach. That cools it down. And if you keep it moving, the egg, which is all mixed up in the cheeses, and it should be fine. And you can add this back in to the big bowl of cheese. So let's get this mixed up. Now we really can start the assembly once this is all mixed in. So you just want this spinach to add flavor, and add an extra element, but you don't want it to be a spinach lasagna. So this bowl should be more white than green because it has all the different cheeses, and it has the parsley, the egg, and the spinach. So let's get to assembly. Vegetarian, or vegan I should say, pasta primavera, which I will make again because this is actually really good. Thank you, Mama. I made a version with the leftovers and added mozzarella cheese on top. And this is delicious, guys. I can't stop picking on this, but we have to start cooking our lasagna. So let's get ready to go. For our assembly, we're gonna start with sauce. You have to sauce the bottom of the pan to get this started. So you don't want to put too much though. So let's just spread that around. Now, the beauty of this pasta is that you don't have to cook it. You don't have to boil it down. But that leaves uneven edges, just like with any other noodle. I've pre-cut them already. You can actually still cut these even though they're not cooked. That way, you try to fill in the pan as much as possible. So now to this, we're gonna add our ricotta and spinach mixture. Just put a nice amount on the bottom. Try to spread it evenly. We want this even. Oops, got some overboard. Have to clean that up. And let's see. Once we spread this evenly, we can put another layer. Let's see, there, of pasta. I'm gonna alternate layers, guys. So this is another layer of the pasta. Oh, see, it doesn't cut evenly. Let me get a side here. And now we're going to add sauce. So we're gonna keep layering just like this until it gets, I would say, leave at least a 1/4 inch from it getting to the top, because you don't want it overflowing and messing up your oven while it bakes, because everything does kind of expand a little. The pasta poofs up a little when it's cooking, and you don't want that sauce dripping and making a mess. But we're gonna add some cheese to this layer because, well, I used to think there's never too much cheese. You can never add too much cheese to lasagna, but that is not true because I have done it. So I'm gonna keep layering. Once we're done, I'm gonna pop this in the oven. I'll cover it with a layer of mozzarella and Parmesan cheese on top and pop it in a 350-degree oven. Top layer, I'm going to add some mozzarella. Guys, this assembly is just very messy and the girls are having issues right now. We're gonna deal with that. Thank goodness I'm almost done. I'll be right there, honey. I'll be right there, Marley. Okay, perfect. See, this will be the top layer. This is gonna get nice and cheesy, but you don't want like too much cheese on top, otherwise it's just an oily disaster. Ready to go in the oven. There's a difference between them because I used 2 different types of noodle. So I put the Boursin cheese and sprinkled it on top of this one, so I know which noodle is which. That way I can do a taste test of my own. So I'm gonna pop these into a 350-degree oven. Before I do that, I'm gonna cover it up with some foil. I'm gonna let it cook for 25 minutes and I'll take the foil off and then allow it to cook for about 5 more minutes. All right, right, so we're ready to go. So they're nice and covered and heavy, so watch out. You might want to use both hands. This is way heavier, guys. So let's keep that covered. We'll close this up and let it bake. And I will take the foil off. Look at that. That's nice. I'm gonna allow it to cook 5 more minutes and then we're ready to eat. 5 more minutes, look how nice that looks. I'm actually wanting a little more crispiness on top, so I will set it to broil. I'm gonna broil it. I'll put it low and I'll set it for 2 minutes. You don't wanna burn it, guys, so keep an eye on it. Just pulled these out of the oven. We're gonna give it 5 minutes so it can rest. That way it doesn't get all sloppy when we cut into it. All right, guys, it's dinner time, so I'm going to taste this. Let's see. It looks so good. Someone's waking up. Wow. This is amazing. You can taste the sausage in the sauce. The ricotta is nice and creamy. The pasta is perfectly cooked, guys. This is a great lasagna. I think I've outdone myself. Hope you guys have a happy Father's Day and you like this video and you try to make this recipe at home. If you liked this video, please hit like down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more recipes. Bon appetit!